All right, Ehud Borovoy.
Yep.
Tell me about you have kind of two branches. I know that just as a friend of yours. You've got two branches of what you do, but you tell me about the two different categories.
Well, actually, Adam, first of all, thank you for having me here.
Yeah, my pleasure.
I have three
Three.
services that I offer
Okay.
in my business. One of them is Krav Maga training.
Which I knew about.
Second is Shiatsu massage. And the third one is personal training. Just to recap a little bit, Krav Maga is a self-defense system.
Yeah.
It was originated and born in Israel. We use it a lot in IDF, in the Israeli Defense Forces. So everybody go through training during their service because everybody's enlisted to the military. Majority of people.
It's mandatory.
It's mandatory, men and women.
In your youth, you have to do
Correct.
your military service.
There are groups that are not included, like Arabs, Christian,
Okay.
but they can volunteer.
But if you're ethnic Israeli,
yes, if you're
you have to.
Israeli, you
Okay.
have to. That's
Yeah.
mandatory. So going through that, it is a practical application of self-defense to situations that are dangerous in life. It is not about getting points like in Taekwondo or learning a kata and years and years and years
it's
of
not a
development.
style per se where people compete for style.
So there's a confusion. A lot of people call it martial arts because it has kicking and punching, but it's not a martial art. It's a self-defense system.
Okay.
Basically, a person that came from Europe, his name is Imi Lichtenstedt.
Okay.
Say that fast.
I am not going to attempt it.
He came from Europe to Israel, being a Jewish person. And he realized a lot. He was a decorated athlete, top of the line boxer, wrestler. But when he got to Israel, he realized that all his training went out the door when in the narrow streets of Jerusalem, somebody came with a gun in front of you and you cannot like throw a punch or wrestle them or do anything.
Which is fairly typical for urban scenario.
Correct. So what he did is he took different moves that were simple and effective from different martial arts and just put them together. So you have punches and kicks from karate and boxing. You have throws from judo. You have wrestling and manipulation of joints. All of those combined to give somebody who is not a soldier a fighting chance in a dangerous situation.
Okay.
So that's the practicality of it.
So you don't have to be an athlete per se to use this art form.
Not at all. A lot of times I have just my current class. I have a 7-year-old man in his 70s. I don't remember exactly how much.
Yeah.
But the first thing he came and asked me, I didn't know if I can participate in your class because I have a pacemaker. And my typical answer is, yes, you can, because it doesn't matter.
In fact, he's probably the guy who needs this because he would be at a disadvantage in a tough situation.
He also will be considered the victim in that situation. So when somebody comes to attack you, they don't look at you and say, oh, I'm sorry, you have a disability, I'm going to come back another time, or I'll go and attack somebody else. They will specifically target you because of that, because you seem to be a victim for them, somebody who's lower.
Gotcha.
So this is what I teach. I teach how to get away from dangerous situation in the least amount of time and not stay there.
So if I'm understanding it right, this is not an offensive practice. This is not like some of the other disciplines where, you know, there's a lot of emphasis on the attack.
Correct.
This is more the defense and survival. This is me talking with total naivety. I don't know anything about the practice.
What I practice and what I teach is the self-defense part of it. So there's different levels and different areas in Krav Maga.
Okay.
It is mainly used by the IDF, so it is offensive. But a lot of times it is actually utilized defense and offense at the same time.
Okay.
Which something is some martial arts lacking.
Okay.
Take, for example, there's a big hype nowadays with social media with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
It is a beautiful martial arts, and it's great because a lot of times 90% of fights will end up on the ground. And I'll recommend it to kids. If somebody comes away with kids, I'll say, this is great because a lot of times kids are on top of kids.
Yeah.
You go back to your childhood.
That's where you end up is
Right.
on the ground. And popularized by UFC. And
True.
a lot of ground games kind of featured.
The most problematic with that martial arts is that is very, very defensive oriented. So unless somebody's going to attack you and push you,
Yeah.
you're doing nothing.
Yeah.
So if somebody comes with a gun in front of you, unless
it's
they
not
are pushing the
applicable at
gun
that
on
point.
you or grabbing you, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
So that's a disadvantage of that martial arts.
Yeah.
So in Krav Maga, we incorporate a lot of things, groundwork as well, punching,
Okay.
striking, and defend against that. I like to focus on the self-defense because, again, from my perspective, most individuals in their lifetime will not experience. They're not fighters that go to the UFC and they dabble there, they train with it, they have fun. MMA, it's very popular. But to be in an actual scenario, to be like a soldier that goes to combat, it's really, really low percentage in the population.
Right. Yeah.
Unfortunately, most violence will happen to the common person throughout their life.
Yeah.
Domestic violence.
I remember reading a long time ago, and this was from the FBI Uniform Crime Report.
Yeah.
If you take all of the incidents involving an attacker with a firearm, all of them averaged out. The first shot was fired at 7-foot distance from the victim.
Yeah.
Now that includes law enforcement and civilians and everything, but that was just kind of a stunning statistic for me. It's like, okay, you have very little time, and the average attacker's not very far away from you.
No. and a lot of times I explain to my clients, most crimes are opportunist in nature.
Right.
There's an opportunity there. If somebody, I tell everybody, I have my experience with Krav Maga, whatever martial arts, but if somebody comes with a weapon and they try to kill you or they want to kill you, all they need to do is shoot and that's it. Why waste time and energy?
Right, yeah.
A lot of times it's about control. It's about showing dominance of another individual. So a lot of time in Krav Maga, besides the fact that we're doing the techniques and all that, we are emphasizing a lot the psychology behind the attack.
Yeah.
Being aware of the situation and all of that around it, which is very, very important and something that sometimes is lacking in some martial arts.
Yeah. So I'm very protective. I have 5 girls now, and who absolutely should be working with you, obviously, especially after hearing some of this. But one of the things that I have really focused on talking with them about and teaching them is it's social awareness of scenarios, awareness of situations where you need to not put yourself in a bad situation to begin with. Exactly. Especially when you're walking through an environment you're not used to, or maybe it's dark or something like that. But the average attacker is not jumping out of the bushes at you.
No.
It's somebody who engages you in either conversation or
somebody
asks you for a favor. Yeah, maybe somebody asks you for a favor and it feels a little bit off, but you kind of don't want to be offensive or rude, so you engage a little bit, and that's when you're taken advantage of. Do you get into the social dynamic at all in your classes?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do a lot because it's just very vital to the scenarios. It's social interaction, and just a simple thing. I went one time with a good friend of mine to a birthday party that he threw, and we went a group of friends together, and went to a club. And at some moment, one of the guys that were with us drank a lot of alcohol, of course, but he was also trying to get with one of the girls and was not able to. She didn't want to. So he was frustrated from 2 sides. So we ended up at a country music club, and I have no idea why, but at midnight, every country music club turns into hip hop. And
I know.
It's weird.
Yeah. Whatever that is.
But they have the poles and the mechanical bulls there, and people are just dancing, having fun. And all of a sudden, I see him walk across the room, grab a stranger lady there by her hand, and walks her to a pole and say, "Dance for me."
Yeah.
And all I see is all the group that she was with, all the guys pumping their chest. I was like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
I mean, luckily, I was right next to him. I just kind of like put him in a headlock and take him out because he was...
Yeah.
And security came. So
hopefully,
like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
A lot of the scenarios that I talk to, before we get into the techniques, how to de-escalate the situation.
Okay. Yeah.
Because a lot of times, like, if I can run away, I run away. Why waste my time?
Yeah.
Why put yourself in that
Doesn't
situation?
matter how skilled you are, everybody's going to the hospital.
Correct. And something might happen that you don't want.
Yeah, and then the unexpected happens.
Yeah, exactly.
I heard that from somebody I was talking with a long time ago who was an expert in his own discipline, his own martial arts discipline. And he was just saying, it doesn't matter. He's like, if you get into a fight, you're going to the hospital, they're going to the hospital. Some people may not come out of the hospital, but everybody goes to the hospital. So just avoid it.
Yeah.
Get away. Anyway.
If you have that possibility.
Yeah, if that's
and then that's where I come from. When you don't have that possibility, what do you do when things escalate and hands are on you or whatever?
Sure.
Yeah. So that's the Krav Maga part of it.
All right.
The second one, Shiatsu massage. Shiatsu is a Japanese technique. It's based on Chinese medicine, and it utilizes pressure points, manipulation of joints, and stretching of the body. So I tell a lot of people I'm a massage therapist and a chiropractor and a yoga instructor at the same time.
Yeah.
The benefits of it, that is, I do a lot of rotational work to your joints and things. So if you're an athlete, volleyball player, for example, and you constantly play, this is ideal for you because I'm the one who will move you around and find those knots that will help you get better. And the idea is to get to a balance in your body.
Okay.
Balance of energy, whatever it may be.
So can I, let me have you push pause there for a second.
Sure.
Where does Shiatsu land on the spectrum of like regular, like licensed massage therapist? So if you have massage therapist over here and you have chiropractor way over here, like what's the difference in Shiatsu? Where does that land?
It will land, that was a good question, by the way. It will land as a specialty, like a modality, like sport massage, acupuncture, all those things. So it's under the umbrella of massage. Okay. But it's like if you talk about, a lot of people like, oh, deep tissue massage. This is way more than deep tissue massage. Yeah. Because I can utilize my elbows, I can utilize my entire body to put pressure. Yeah. However, this is where a therapist is basically being tested. If you are confident and you know your modality and you know very well, you do not necessarily just hurt people. Yeah. I hear a lot of people like go to different massage therapy and they say, oh, I got this tissue and I'm bruised and have purple. No actual respected and somebody who has a lot of experience in the field will on purpose bruise you. Okay.
So what's the solution though? Is it just a slower lead up to whatever you're getting to? It can be a slow
motion. It can be, it can be, a lot of times is multiple sessions, but also working with your client. Okay. And know where the threshold is and being aware of how much they can tolerate and stuff.
That makes sense.
If you don't have feedback, my usual spiel is, I tell people, you are my feedback system. I am very much aware of how much I can put, but if you don't tell me what's going on, I would never know. Yeah. So, but at the same time, I do not utilize oils or lotions at all. So if you are dressed like in workout clothes, this is how I work with you. Okay. And a lot of times that's an appeal. People don't like to get disrobed. Yeah. And have
a lot of people feel uncomfortable with all of that. That makes sense.
So I'm the one to tell people, I'll make you into a pretzel and then unfold you. You'll feel like you're taller than before. Right. So that is Shiatsu.
Am I remembering wrong? Is that part of what got you here in this regional area to begin with because of Wright State?
Well, my goal when I came here from Israel in a goal to pursue my education. Yeah. And back in Israel, I studied for 4 years Shiatsu, so I studied a lot. And I wanted to do it academically. Yeah. But in Israel, it's not academically, it's stuck in bureaucracy, so it's just a certification. So there were only, I was looking at places, and United States have a program that is teaching Chinese medicine, holistic medicine, as a master's or a PhD. But at the time, I also needed my bachelor's. So I looked around. We had friends that live here in Dayton, and they told me about Wright State.
Okay.
So I did a bachelor from Wright State.
I thought there was some connection there with
and
the
in hopes
Shiatsu.
to get in. Shiatsu was the thing that brought me here.
Yeah. Awesome.
And the third service that I offer is personal training. I've been a trainer for over 20 years. I used to be the Israeli Police Academy fitness instructor.
Okay.
So most of my knowledge is in fitness. I highly emphasize proper form, correct way to lift things, and proper load of progress in your workouts. I'm not the one who's going to make you into Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah. Because that's not my goal. My goal is to be in my 70s, 80s, and still be active and still work out. Yeah. And not complain that I can't work with my grandchildren because my back hurts or anything like that.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That is my goal in life, and that is what I strive.
With your personal training clients, do you have do you go to wherever their gym is? Like, how do you work that dynamic out? Like, do they come to you?
Currently, because of our current situation with COVID after effect and everything, my business is mobile. So I will go to...
You go to where their gym is?
Yes.
Okay.
I have my own equipment. I won't go to their gym because most gyms will not allow an outside trainer. There are ways to get away from that.
Sure, yeah.
But if they have a gym in their complex, in their apartments, if they have equipment at home, if not, I can bring my own. I have weights and stuff that I can carry with me. To create a workout, that's not a problem. At some point, you'll get to a limit of, depends on your goals, of how much weight you can use or want. Yeah. I do have my own equipment that I can utilize in my own house, but currently I'm not in the space to bring in people into my own private home.
Right, yeah. So, and I probably speak for a lot of people here. I feel like the average gym goer is somebody who they kind of maybe have a general grasp of what it means to work out, or maybe what they're after, but they kind of get lost, and I'll just say we, because it's me too sometimes. We go to the gym, we have a general plan, but then we kind of just fool around. I think today I want to work chest. I think I'm maybe you do the bro split, whatever, wherever you got taught what you do know. But there's always, in the back of your head, it's always like, I would like to have a trainer, but what's that mean? Am I spending $500 a month to have somebody with me all the time? This isn't a soap opera where you just get to, spend as much cash as you want on is it something where the average, you set them up with a workout, you don't have to be there with them every time they work out, right? Like, what's that dynamic look like?
So the dynamic will change and will be from a different person, because I had clients that they needed that motivation. They needed me to be there every time to tell them what to do. Person. So it depends on the person and goals.
How driven they are.
And that. So it eventually, with all the services that I offer, and specifically also with personal training, I'm a tool. The way my client will use my services, that's up to them. Because you can have the best trainer in the world, but if you just put in once a week, you're not going to see results or so. So it's the same like everything in life. Yeah. You have to put that mentality, or that consistency is key. Right. Consistency is key. You'll see results when you are consistent with your workouts, or with your Pilates, or with your yoga, whatever it is, with your Krav Maga.
Do you feel like consistency is more important than quality?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. For the long run, consistency is key.
Because I've heard that both ways, and people get militant almost about those two different opinions.
You do want to have quality in your workouts. Sure. But what does that mean? So a lot of people think that quality is, I'm going to bust out so many exercises in this short amount of time. Yeah. And that will be the benefit for me. Well, again, it depends on your goals. It depends on what you want to achieve. how much time you have to dedicate for that, because that will change the entire. If you only have 20 minutes a day to put into a workout,
right,
because you're busy with your job, with kids, or whatever it is, you cannot necessarily do a program that is typical 3 times a week, whatever it is. You have to compress more of the time. So the difference between a gym goer who has knowledge of how to work out and a trainer, in that way also a quality trainer that has experience or have more knowledge, is that they just know more about methodology of workouts and what will give you benefits if doing this and that. For example, a lot of people think that to get lean muscles, and you hear it a lot from the female population, you need to lift lightweight a lot of reps. That is incorrect.
Yeah, there's a lot of urban legend.
Yeah, there's a lot of urban legend, but a lot of it is still, to this day, is still current. You get the typical myth that women think that if they lift weight, they're going to bulk up like a guy. They look like a guy.
Yeah.
Incorrect. Just because hormones.
Yeah.
We have testosterone a lot more than they do, and they have more estrogen.
Yeah.
Hormones will not allow it. At the end of the day, it's the perceived image that we have of ourselves.
Yeah.
To what we see and what we like or not. So it's consistency, how much time we have to put in it, and what do we want to achieve. And the last thing is be realistic.
Yeah.
Be realistic about it.
All right, push pause. I'm only doing this because it majorly sucks to be doing an interview and perfect, we're still running. Yeah, we're at 17 minutes. So
yeah.
That's good.
Oh, no.
So far. Okay.
Good questions, by the way.
Thank you. That's all genuine.
Yeah.
Genuinely interested. So all 3 of your categories that you just described in your profession and your skill set, and I'm kind of going back to the same point I made earlier, they all 3 seem to, the average person views the accessibility of all these things. There's a barrier of entry. It's what I said about the gym goer. It's like, okay, I want a personal trainer. I want somebody to put me on the right track for the goals that I have. But it's just like, how am I going to do that? It's too expensive, or I don't have time to meet with somebody multiple times a week, which obviously is not even real. That's just made up in my mind or the person's mind. Same thing with shiatsu massage. Like, wow, that sounds like something that could really help me. But there's like, do I really want to? It's too hard, or it's uncomfortable, or whatever. And the same thing with, I would really love to be able to feel more secure in dark areas. Everybody goes somewhere at night, Everybody goes to a bar sometime, whatever. But
what happened at Setters?
Yeah, a lot of the people viewing this video have personal knowledge of that situation. Nobody wants to be in that situation. Nobody wants to watch a friend. The helplessness that I'm sure multiple people who were there felt, nobody wants to feel that. And there's a lot of regret, I'm sure. But the barrier of entry is probably the big thing in a lot of people's minds. Like, how do I get from A to B? So
you touched a very important subject that I'm dealing on a daily basis. Is 1, how do I get the clients to come to that, right?
Yeah.
2 is education. Just as an example, shiatsu. Most people have no idea what shiatsu is.
Yeah. In fact, I think the first time you told me about it, I did not even know what it was.
Yeah. Especially here in the mid of the United States. If I was in New York,
Eastern medicine's a little more popular on the coasts.
More. Correct. Now there is a type of massage here that a lot of people know, shiatsu, which is similar, but it's the one that you see bars on top of and they step on you. Basically, they're standing on you. So it's similar, but it's limited just to their feet that they're standing on you.
Doesn't help that it has a similar name.
Yeah, right.
It's way too close to the name.
So education, teach people what is shiatsu. A lot of times the answer okay, come and try it if you enjoy it. A lot of times if people see the benefit of it, they come back. With me as a trainer, as a therapist, or in my profession, or as an individual, my goal is to see you the least amount of times. Initially, I probably will see you.
It's refreshing to hear.
It's refreshing to hear because I always look at it from a business perspective or as a person. If you come and see me again and again and again for, let's say, 2-3 years, and you did not improve when you need me to always come back, I am disservicing you.
On that note, do you often have to tell people, or do you ever have to tell people, that's not something I can help you with, you need to go to a specialist or something like that?
Yes, there's a lot of times
that
I do referral.
Yeah.
I'll tell them, listen, a lot of times I take my clients, before I even start with them, I meet with them one-on-one to see if I'm even a good fit.
So yeah, it may not be from the get-go.
Yeah, it may not be from the get-go, so why waste your time and money on my time and money of doing that? So yeah, so initially it depends on the situation. If you really need to progress fast, like if you are a beginner at the gym, you have no clue of lifting, yes, I will see you a lot more times at the beginning. But my goal is to get to a point that I see you maybe once every week. Depends on the goals. To a point that like, okay, hey, once in a month, I'm like, I need you to show me something new that I have not experienced, or so I'm stuck. But for me, yes, if I meet with you, I'll see your goals. We'll talk about it. We'll work out a few times. I will educate you as much as I can to what you want, and then I will give you a program to follow if that's what you.
Well, what about somebody like me? So, I'm fairly knowledgeable, but obviously I'm not a trainer. And what if I just wanted you to, set me up a program? This is what I want to achieve. Yeah. I know I know how to keep my form correct. I know what all the motions are, but I need help building that program out. Yeah. Would you do that for somebody?
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So you're just lending your expertise to help craft whatever part of it they need.
That is part of like I do sometimes consultation.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that's part of it, for sure.
Awesome. Okay. What are your goals like overall, long term? What do you want for your business?
Here's a.
Everybody has where they're at, and everybody has where they want to take their business to optimize it better for them, their lifestyle.
Me as a person, if you look at somebody and you look at their business, it's very important for me to understand what motivates you and what is your passion. Me as an individual, the way I operate with my business or in life, my goal is to help people.
Yeah.
It can be in any form it is. Right now, in my life, it led to being able to help people in those fields, in those services.
The older I get, the more I realize that element is so important. There is no satisfaction in anything I'm doing if it's not helping somebody. And that's a maturity thing for me. It just took a long time.
And
that's
also part of it that sometimes I kind of like bite myself in the ass about like my business, because like for Krav Maga, I do privately and stuff like that. But I know the economy, I know it is. Yeah. So I tell a lot of my clients, if you cannot afford me, I offer the class in the rec center, which there I'm an employee, so I'm getting paid only hourly. Yeah. And you can still come, because it's important for me to come to train.
Yeah, there is a balance where you want to make a living for yourself and your family.
Yes, correct.
But also you want to help other people. I think everybody has to, figure out where that balance is.
So, I mean, that is the main thing. So it's finding the right clientele sometimes, but a lot of times it's educating. It's also being able to promote or show what you do in a way that will entice people to come. Because one of the hardest thing in my business is fighting against necessity. People don't view what I teach or what I do as a necessity. Like, for example, Shiatsu massage or massage in general.
It's more of like a discretionary thing.
It's more discretionary. It's more like, oh, I have a birthday. My wife has a birthday.
Oh, we're going to go get a massage. Yeah.
They don't see it as a healthy... I saw one time kind of like a sentence that said, it was from a chiropractor. You need to have a chiropractic assessment, or it needs to be like you're brushing your teeth on a daily. It needs to be a healthy habit.
So I currently have a fractured foot, stress fracture, and I played a tournament last weekend, weekend and a half ago, with our youngest, Jocelyn, our second youngest. And I absolutely love playing with her this year. I think that was maybe our 5th or 6th tournament. This is the first year she's played adult tournament, so it's a big deal, and I love every minute of it. But that Sunday, I was in excruciating pain. I barely got through the day, and I was trying to land on my good foot. I didn't know what was wrong at that point. Anyway, next day, chiropractor. I always start with the chiropractor if it's not something that's obvious that I know is broken or something, and then did X-rays, and it was fairly obvious I have a fractured foot. But every time I'm at the chiropractor, it's the same thing. Man, you know what? I should be in here once a month or every other month or something like that, because I know it would be really good for me. But
and a lot of times the goal is, like I said, initially, if there's an issue in something, I'll see you more time. But the goal is eventually is to maintenance.
Yeah.
Because again, we abuse our bodies so much, we don't even realize that.
Yeah, my Monster coffee drink here is out of frame. Speaking of abusing our bodies.
Right. So, but we abuse it that we don't think about taking care of ourselves in a way that is more than just, sometimes we will get a massage. Sometimes we'll do this. Yes, we work out. We do yoga and stuff not everybody all the time. But at the same time, me as a person, I'm a realist.
Yeah.
You sat here and you talked about your Monster. Yes, it's unhealthy. Great.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm not going to judge you for that.
But I'm also lacking sleep, and I wanted to have a great conversation. I want to be able to focus and concentrate and all that stuff.
So a lot of times it falls on what will motivate you to do that switch to decide, okay, now I'm going to take responsibility of my own happiness and health and whatever it is, which is hard. I myself I'm lacking that sometimes with 2 kids and everything juggling. Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah,
for sure.
I know the feeling. So we'll wind it up with this 2 scenarios. Scenario A, you've got Borovoy Dojo and Massage Center where you've got 8 or 10
getting to my goal.
Yeah, 8 or 10 trainers working for you, and 5 massage people and all that, and you're more managing people. And option B, where you're hands-on with every client and you get that personal interaction. Like, which one's more your style?
The ideal, in between will be the great answer, but I know it's not realistically at first. Yes, in between. I will have my own personal clients that I will work with, but at the same time. So I'm the one that actually my goal is to have my own location for sure. Yeah. But I am the one who wants to disrupt the industry. Yeah. And let me explain what. In a utopian world, if we all had the money like an athlete, a professional athlete or singers, because they have their own chef, they have their own masseuse, they have their own trainers, they can pay for all that. Yeah. And some people can do that, of course, but again, you're paying for service by themselves each and each, which is sometimes not sustainable in our economy. Right. So my goal as an utopian world is to disrupt the industry and create a program that you pay a fee that is so specifically a membership, for example, but you get all the services included in it. So your body is being dealt with physically, mentally, emotionally, all together. Yeah. So I would love to have a team of instructors of different modalities, instructors of different training methods, nutritionist, massage therapist, all of them under the same roof. Yeah, under the same membership. I like that quite a bit. That's my goal. Yeah. How really much cool. It's possibility to do that? Yeah. It's hard to gauge what's the right number for that. Sure. I'm going to link your social media to this video. Hopefully people will start following your clips and watch the stuff that you have online. But best way to contact you, easiest way to get a hold of you for any of these things? The easiest way will probably be text or email, just because a lot of times I will not be able to answer any phone calls since I'm busy with kids or things like that. But yeah, in any of the social media aspect, Instagram, Facebook, any of those, I will answer promptly to a message or through an email. Great. All right. Thank you for being here. Thank you.